Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact. Walk in his ways. Tune in to get your mind right. Tune in and let your soul glow. We already hit the top charts. If you're really ready, let's go. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact. Walk in his ways. Perfect Jess will be the host. NSC co-host. Coach Shay, co-host. Prime time, co-host. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact. Walk in his ways. Tune in to get your mind right. Tune in and let your soul glow. We already hit the top chart. If you're really ready, let's go. Now wind it up, now wind it up, now wind it up. Don't stop, put the time is up. Don't stop, put the time is up. Go wind it up, now wind it up. Go wind it up, go wind it up, go. Don't stop till the time is up, go. Don't stop till the time is up, go. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact. Walk in his ways. Tune in and get your mind right. Tune in and let your soul go. We already hit the top charts. So if you're really ready, let's go.
Today is Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. Welcome to another edition of Walking His Ways Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Freeman Jackson Jr. Along for the ride is the team, the Mafia of Anna C, Miss A in her absence. Also, we got the student of the game herself, Coach Shay, and also got the king of Mississippi, Kenny Primetime Williams. And we're very excited about being back with y'all tonight. We are live streaming, of course, on Facebook Live. So we encourage you to like, share, and comment. Tonight, we're talking about marriage with the favors of the king and queen. They are joining us here live tonight. We talk about marriage. We're going to talk about their union. We're going to talk about their laws. We're going to talk about the tips they believe in to have a successful marriage. We know marriage is sacred with God. We know marriage is a long-term thing. Now that marriage is a generational thing because children come into play and you want to pass it on to the next generation. So I'm very excited about having this awesome young couple here in the city of Dallas, of course. Before we get started, we got Kenny Primetime Williams with the latest sports news. We know we had a heartbreaking loss this past Sunday with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I know.
Garbage. But anyway, that's another story. So Kenny, go ahead and take with the latest sports news and updates.
Well. I normally, I don't know if you guys are YouTubers that watch this comedian named Shula King. Y'all heard of him, Shula King? No. He normally would start his videos off, can anybody tell me? And he'll go so on and so on. But everybody in podcast land, can anybody tell me what happened week 1 of the new season of NFL, especially my beloved Dallas Cowboys? I'm still hurting. I can't even focus. It's a very odd thing that tonight's topic is on marriage and family because my household is a mess right now after Sunday. So listen, everybody in the land, look, thanks for tuning in. You are now in the prime zone. I'm your host, Kenny Primetime Williams. Look, I'm not going to hold you long because my blood pressure already is high just thinking about it, telling you people about the things that went on in week 1 of the NFL season. I know Mr. Furman was there. I saw pictures. My God, I kind of wish you would have saved that money, my brother. But anyway, we're going to move on a little forward. The WNBA Finals, game 2 tonight. Big ups to these ladies. Look, these ladies can ball. I actually watched. I had to turn away from watching the game on Sunday, and I started watching the ladies because I had to do something to cheer me up, and they made me feel proud. Then I turn back over to NBC, and I just get all sad again. Anyway, It was a very good game, good close game. Got down to the wild Las Vegas Aces to game 1 in the WNBA finals. And tonight is game 2 in Las Vegas. It's going to be rocking. When I get off with you guys, I'm going to tune into that, try to lift my spirits up. You know, I've been praying all day, been asking God for help and dealing with this because depression is real when your team get handed like that. But, anyway, week 1, NFL season. I got the Bills and the Rams. Let's start off on Thursday. You just won a Super Bowl and you start the season at home, sellout crowd. People took off work and traveled to SoFi Stadium to see them raise their better. Even people that we weren't on the team no more came just to see the raising of the banner. And you got blown out by the Bills, 31-10. I don't understand that. That's a problem for me. And then we move along. We move along to Sunday night. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take long on this subject because I've been talking about it since it happened. My Cowboys lost very badly to, I'm not going to call him a GOAT because I think God above is the GOAT, but I'm not going to call Tom Brady no GOAT. 19-3, we fell to the Cowboys. He is a good quarterback, but he's not the GOAT. My team held him to 19 points. That's good for our defense. Big up to Michael Parsons. He had recorded 2 sacks on that game. Offense-wise, podcast man, we in trouble. We lost our quarterback. He hurt his hand. God bless him.
And he wasn't even doing good.
He
wasn't falling out of
no accuracy.
Before the injury. I mean, that injury helped him kind of. Because after that, he was completing passes. But
CeeDee Lamb is not ready for no one spot.
CeeDee Lamb is not our number 1 receiver. But I'm gonna say this point, and we're gonna move on. When you don't make off-season moves, when you sit in the office and just do interviews and radio shows and commercials, and you don't do moves to help improve your team during the off-season, that's what it's called, off-season. You need to do some stuff for the upcoming season. But we didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. We sat there, we went on trips, we went to family reunions, we went to weddings, we just reported back when they said time to go. And it showed up on Sunday. But going on to some scores, the Saints in a nail biter against the Falcons, 27-26. The 49ers topped off, came up short against the Bears, 19-10. The Broncos lost last night. Russell Wilson had his comeback to Seattle last night. Very emotional night, but a great night. They fell up short with Seattle last night, 16-17. And Baker Mayfield didn't get his payback against his Cleveland Browns. They beat him 26-24. And Pittsburgh, J.J. Watt doesn't need surgery at all. He didn't tore something. He tore something. I mean, he tore a whole vertical, whatever they call it. And he don't need surgery. He's just going to miss 6 weeks. However, there's a quarterback in Dallas, Texas that hurt his arm, and he had to have surgery Monday morning. I don't understand that. Anyway, some college news. I'm going to let y'all go after this. Alabama, I know Mr. Farmers is a Roll Tide fan. So Alabama edged by Texas 2019. Ole Miss over Arkansas 59-3. Arkansas should never came on the field on that game. But anyway, Jackson State over Tennessee State in Memphis. Eddie George versus Deion Sanders with a great game. Jackson State came out with the win on that one. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I am in real depression. I may come in and out. I really want to listen to the marriage couple tonight because after Sunday, I mean, nobody in my house, we talk to each other. We just depressed. We don't got no team. We got no quarterback. Our owner just sit in. But anyway, God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Back to you, Mr. Furman.
I appreciate you, Kenny. Thank you for the latest sports news and updates as well. We are live streaming, of course, tonight on Facebook Live. So we encourage you to like, share, get the hearts up, get the thumbs up. Most importantly, we want you to engage. We're talking about marriage tonight. This past Saturday, we were talking about dating, relationships, but we're talking about marriage on this episode tonight. We have an awesome married couple that's joining us, the favorites tonight, as they give their point, they give their experiences, their advice on what makes their marriage successful. And we really want to talk about that tonight. And for those who wants to get married, those who desire to be married, and you can get something out of it, something you could take and apply in your own life. Before we go further with that, introduce Coach Shay with the latest entertainment news. Go ahead and take away, Shay, and then we're going to jump off into our interview Q&A session.
Hello, everybody. So glad to welcome everybody back for another episode of Walking His Ways. I'm Coach Shay, and I'm here with your celebrity tea, y'all. So, we all know Queen Elizabeth died. We all know she died. We all know what happened, right? That's not what I'm finna tell y'all. That's not what I'm here for. She lived her life. She was 96 years old. The lady lived her life. What I'm here to talk about is all the backlash this lady received from dying. Like, was this not Kevin Samuels' wrecking ball all over again? Like, they drugged this lady for I don't know what reason. I seen so many memes about her.
They did say she was pretty evil.
And it's crazy. I mean, I seen people posting like "Ding Dong, the witch is dead." I mean, people was going really, really far. I didn't get those vibes from the queen. I don't know. It's because I don't live there, and it's really none of my business how she runs her kingdom or none of that. How she ruled don't really affect us here, so I didn't really know why everybody was so solid.
Before you go on, Coach Shay, I just had to comment on one thing. I'm like you, Coach. I don't care nothing about, but I just really want to get into about this woman and how does she so rich and why she's so royalty. She don't have to go. She ain't worked a day in her life, and how does she get her money? They support her. They just support her. They just send her money.
Yeah,
she's worth $800-some billion. She don't know how to wipe a table.
No, she's never done anything in her life.
Now that's a blessing.
Like the royal emeralds and everything that she owns. Crazy. It's some crazy money that they about to be putting these in museums. We'll be able to see them, and then some of them, of course, being passed down and inherited to her grandchildren and children. So we'll be able to see those diamonds. She be putting them up. The younger kids gonna wear them. They gonna wear all them diamonds. We get to see them. Later news: PNB Rock was fatally shot at Roscoe Chicken and Waffles, y'all. Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. If y'all don't know who PNB Rock is, he's the guy that wrote Selfish, and he had a few other hits that was out. Everybody blaming his girlfriend. Everybody saying that the girlfriend played a big part in this because she posted the location. Even though knowing prior to events, he had two other, run-ins where he almost got robbed. One, she was present. The other, he was with his daughter. So I kind of feel them where they going with it, but we still don't really know because they calling it a robbery. They calling it a robbery in the Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. So we really just don't specifically know what that really was about. But my question for y'all, if you're watching right now, if you're watching on YouTube, comment below. Celebrity or not, are you dropping your location? Comment below. Celebrity or not, you dropping your location when you posting? Are you gonna wait till the next day? I done seen a lot of people say, I don't post the same day.
Well, everybody do.
When I leave, or I post the next day or whatever. But when I started thinking about this, I'm like, am I really kind of careless?
Everybody do that. Everybody post where they be at.
But I
don't make no enemies though. If you make some enemies, you in trouble.
Yeah, so, see, I don't tag like my exact location. Like I don't go to Facebook or Instagram and be like, I'm here, put in the address and like pin it. I don't do that. Now you might see like where I'm at, but I'm not gonna pin my location. I'm not doing it unless I'm at a business. Like if I'm at Ethereum or if I'm at 9 Rounds or if I'm at my business, because they help me rank up in the algorithm on Facebook. Other than that, I ain't dropping my location.
Just be careful out there.
Y'all gotta be mindful because people they losing their minds out here. And since we're speaking about losing our minds, it was a tragedy here in Dallas, Texas. If you guys are not from Dallas, Texas, it's 2 incidents that happened here recently. They really hit close to home for me. So I really definitely have to talk about it. The Big T incident made it to the Washington Post, the New York Post. I'm sorry. So this was like a really big deal. 3 people were shot inside of Big T. It's not the first time. There's some situations that happen like that. Me, myself, it hit close to home for me because that was my very first job, y'all. It's the very first place that I ever worked was Big T Bazaar. I sold perfumes at Be Jazzy for me. I sold body oils and house oil fragrances. So I've always had this outgoing type of personality, but that's where everything started. I've been there when situations have happened and guns have been pulled out. Everybody ducking behind things and everything like that. I just hate that people that I knew were, like around, they traumatized one of the ladies that I know. It happened in front of her shop. So people, when we had these businesses too, we had to be mindful as well. Like we had to protect ourselves. I'm not encouraging anything, but I'm just saying, like, we definitely have to be mindful of the days and times that we're living in. We have to just be even looking for these signs. And I'm actually gonna try to get in contact with like somebody that knows about like this type of awareness, like the signs that you might be about to get robbed, or because these things that we need to know, like what it looked like when somebody about to come up and jack you. Because on the video, the dude looked like he felt offended because 3 dudes walked up on him and he just upped it, and that was it. So that hit really close to home for me. Also, another tragedy happened on Park Lane. If y'all not from Dallas, you probably won't know, but another incident happened on Park Lane. One took one of my beloved friends, Sir Milton Evans, RIP to him. Just senseless gun violence. Same with PNB Rock, like senseless gun violence, people not having their own money, people, just out here starving and just looking for a way, just to make some quick money or do something quick bad, trying to get initiated into gangs, whatever the reason may be. It's so senseless. Y'all taking people away from their children. Y'all taking people, y'all taking people kids, families hurting. I'm an angel mom myself. I haven't lost a living child, but I know how it feels to lose a child, period. And no parent should have to go through that. So I'm sending my condolences publicly to the family, condolences to the Evans family, and also to his friend that was with him that made it to the hospital, but he didn't make it. So, y'all, you gotta be mindful, keep your eyes open, don't let your guards down. It's not time for that, because the devil's busy. He's working, he's using people. Y'all have to be, it's a spiritual fight that we fighting. It ain't the people. Y'all gotta stay prayed up, y'all. That is all I have for you guys today.
Hey, appreciate you, Coach Shay, with the latest entertainment and updates that's going on. Now, where be mindful what you do and what you're going. Well, most definitely don't have to live in fear. Remember, God did not give the spirit of fear, power, love, and the sound mind. Remember that. And also, place of business. I had a conversation with this the other day about business. Location is everything. If you an entrepreneur, business owner, remember location. Location is important. In order to draw clientele, you have to have the right location. If you're in a location where it's violence, high crime, a lot of people's not gonna really come there because it's safety. So remember location. You think about relocating to an area where you want to have your business booming for long periods of time. And also we got Anna C back with us. I know she had dealt with difficulties. Anna, you have anything you want to share with us before we go further with tonight's podcast with our featured guest?
Oh, y'all, I was not going to miss this podcast. I tell you, I was at my office. I was having some technical difficulties, but I was like, I don't care if I got to put my phone on charge and hop in the car. I at least wanted to come in and tell our audience, the Walking His Ways Impact Cast, I appreciate y'all. I see the things that we're doing in the community. We're doing extra podcasts. We're doing extra speaking engagements. We're going to brunches, lunches. And I'm just impressed by the growth of the podcast and the things that we're doing in the community. So, I had to make some shake and hop on here. And I can't wait to hear from tonight's guest. It's just all about empowerment and impact. I can't wait for them to share their story and be an inspiration to y'all.
Awesome stuff. And like I said, we're very excited. Also, big shout out to Gabriel Willard. He done the new jingle for Walking His Ways Impact Voice podcast. I will be uploading that on our YouTube channel along with this episode tonight. I'm very excited about a new theme, a new jingle. Big shout out to him. I will be interviewing him tomorrow night on the podcast, of course. A lot of great things going on, a lot of great things. Also, I'm rocking the Unlearn Bad Habits, Relearn Legacy t-shirt. It just been released on our store, so I'm rocking that tonight. So y'all be posting a link for that. So go check out. We got a lot of great merchandise coming out day by day. So, hey, this was up. Very excited what God is doing right now. And of course, we got our featured guest for the night. This young man, I've been knowing him since I started, worked at the same place of employment, gravitated towards each other like a little brother to me as well. Appreciate him. I see the growth in him from where he was to where he at today. He met his lovely wife. They're making a great, great impact on each other. Not just that, for those that's around them, especially with their age, they're impacting other young people. They say, you know what, marriage is cool. So I want them to introduce themselves, and we want to welcome y'all to Walking This Way's Impact Voice podcast.
Oh, me. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Kelsey Favors. I'm a clinical Christian therapist. That's my life outside of being a wife and a mom. But yeah, that's me. I'm not from Dallas. I'm from Shreveport originally. I came to Dallas about a year, almost 2 years now. Well, it's not close to 2 years yet, but a year and a half ago.
Oh, guys, hey, how you doing? Derek Favors. Let me see. So I am from Dallas, and like you said, we met. I believe it was last year.
Yeah,
At
last
our
year.
job, man. We just had some good talks, some really good man to man talk. Whether it was about God, marriage, just things, just things like that.
Yeah.
But we are just glad to be here and share with you guys.
Awesome. I appreciate y'all taking time out to be together. I know y'all got a lot going on. And tonight we're talking about marriage. We're talking about relationships, which is stuff that we've been talking about as of late. What makes a good marriage? What is the meaning of marriage? What do people understand what a marriage is? We know marriage was made by God, of course. We know marriage is between the man and woman, something that God made long term. He didn't just believe for us to have multiple partners, but it's just that one partner that, hey, this is who I'm be with, this is who I'm comparable with, and this is who I want to build a legacy with. And that's what we want to focus on tonight. So let's talk about how they all came together with y'all two. How did y'all meet? How did y'all know that y'all wanted to be together and make that thing happen?
I'll let you tell this one.
How we met, or
Yeah, I'll let you answer the
oh,
question.
that's fine. All right. So we met actually last year in October. I was still working at the jail still then, and around that times weren't so good then. Anyway, so we met actually through Facebook, actually. Man, we just talked for 3 straight days. Nonstop, day through night. Man, it just felt differently because we talked about every single thing. And if it is one thing that I can say or can advise is just talk, man. Just talk it out. Bad things, good things. Just talk it out. Anyway, so we talked for probably 3 days. After that, then we began to date. We had our first date probably a week later. And I'd say, it went great. But everybody's not, perfect, of course, so we had our ups, downs, but that's just, normal. So it's fine. But we dated. Let me see. We dated for like 5 months before we got engaged. something like that. 6 months. I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
No,
6 months.
we got married at 6 months.
Okay.
So we got engaged at 5 months. I was right there. Anyway, so we got engaged at 5 months, man. And how that happened was we were down in Alexandria, right? And that's in New Orleans,
Louisiana, just like
Down there.
central Louisiana.
right?
Okay.
Down there. So we went down there for a 3-night revival for Kelsey's dad. Actually, by the way, the best father-in-law in the world, man, best in the world. Anyway, we went down there, and then, man, I will tell you probably that last night down there, that is when God told both of us, hey, it's time. Go ahead, it's time. And he didn't just tell me or just tell Kelsey, but he told us both that. So it was like, okay, all right, let's do it, man. And we got engaged the very next night. I took her to Morton's steakhouse in downtown Dallas. Took her there. We got engaged, and then we got married. So we got engaged February 27th, correct. And then got married April the 9th. And we've been married ever since. Also, we have a 1-year-old daughter too as well. Zoe, man, she is a daddy's girl for real. She is always by me, wanting me, calling me,
Whatever.
everything. But go ahead, man. Yeah.
I'll share my version of events.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because that's not how.
What's mine?
Well, so of course, like you said, we met on Facebook. He sent me a message.
Are you gonna say that? Bro?
Now, in this message, he said that I was mysterious. Now, first of all, you don't slide in somebody's DM that you don't know, calling them mysterious. So I was like, who is this guy? Like, why is he trying to play with me? Like, I'm not mysterious. There's nothing about me that says like I'm mysterious or something. So that intrigued me. Obviously, I guess that was his goal. He wanted to be different, spark conversation. I don't know, but
it worked.
Like he said, we talked. And literally we talk all the time. So at the time he was working at the jail, and he would work the night shift. So he would go to work at 10, he would get off at 6 in the morning, right? And so at the time I was driving from like Grand Prairie to Frisco every day to go to work. So I would have to get up at the time he was getting off just to make it to work on time for 8. So we would talk from 6 a.m. to like the time I got to work. And then by the time I got off, all the way up until he went back to work. That was our schedule. Like, that's how we talked. We talked all the time. And so after that, we were both in a place where we were scared, right? Because he had a previous relationship that ended badly. I had a previous relationship that ended badly. And we were just in a space where we were just scared to give each other a chance. So that led to us being, going through those moments of like breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, right? And so with all of that, that's when God was kind of like, all right, now I need to sit y'all down because y'all are not listening, right? You're not listening to what I'm trying to tell you. You're not paying attention. So I think it was really the first night where we were kind of like, okay, this is different. Like, we were both doing ministry work, right? So I was doing ministry work. He was doing ministry work. So it was kind of like we saw each other in that space, and it kind of clicked in our heads. Oh, this is like different. This is good. And then the third night, of course, God was like, you're going to get married and you're going to do it quickly. It's not time to waste. But what's crazy was a couple weeks before that, I had a dream. And the dream literally was like someone telling me, you and Derek have to get married before the year is up, because whatever God has for you, you have to be married in order to tap into it. And so I didn't tell Derek this dream because, like I said, we were in a space where everything was up in the air. Like, you know, we was both scared, and I didn't want to say nothing that would scare him off. So I just didn't tell him the dream. And then when we had that encounter on the third day, we was literally slain at the altar, crying, snot-nosed. It was kind of like God was like, listen, this is what you need to do. And so I finally told him the dream then at that point. And he was like, oh, well, that makes sense. And so we got engaged the next day. And then we were going to push our wedding date to May. But then God was like, no, I need y'all to get married now. And so we got married in April. And we make 6 months married next month. And then a year together next month. So, I mean, that was good.
Awesome stuff. And
with Zoe,
and awesome.
There.
And and I understand where he was coming from when he said you mysterious. That was just him. It was something about your character that was mysterious. That's a good thing. I'm co-signing what he was saying to you.
No, that was a line. I can't even.
Because some guys,
that's what I'm saying. He's trying to play game.
Okay, no, because some guys, some guys keep saying the same stuff over and over again. Right. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're sexy. But he was doing something different. It was something about you that was so different that it was mysterious to him. And he wanted to get to know the character behind your mysterious, which is a good thing because that's something that triggered his attention. Mm-hmm. What he was doing, he wasn't talking at you. He wanted to talk to you. Women love conversation. You just can't talk at a woman. Can't talk at her. You got to talk to her. And that was him talking to you because something mysterious about you, which was a good thing. So I'm just co-signing what he was saying. So because instead of saying the same old thing what guys keep saying, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're fine.
It gets you nowhere. Yeah.
It really don't. And it come up as being thirsty and creepy, but it's so mysterious about you, and I really want to get to know you. Shay, you all spin on. So what you got to say, Shay? You got anything you want to say?
That's an epic love story, y'all. I got a question because it's like, like people always tell you, okay, you got to get to know this person, and it could be years, and you never know a person, and like we hear all these different type of stereotypical things. So get your people. I'm talking to Miss Favors because the woman, we kind of heard it a lot more probably than the male because y'all the one that proposed. So did people think you was losing your mind, Miss Favors? Did they think you was going crazy?
Of course. I mean, even my family on both sides, they were resistant, right? But it was
they love me now. Everybody love me
anyway,
now.
But it just comes from they realizing, I mean, when you get married as a woman, you're completely attaching to the identity of the man that you marry. So, everyone was kind of like, we don't know him. I mean, they only met him like twice before we even got engaged, right? And plus, all of my family, every single one except for one person, lives in Louisiana. None of my family lives in Dallas. So, I packed up, had Zoe. I lived in Dallas. I met Derek. We got married, so all of my family was in Louisiana. So the few times I went down there and they met him, of course, it was kind of like, they didn't know him, right? And it was the same with Derek's family, like they didn't know me. They only met me once before we got engaged. Yep. So it really took both of us proving to the family that we're here to stay, So it was like creating a relationship with them. So like checking in with them, calling them. The same way you would cultivate a relationship with each other, it's communicating with them, letting them know, like if something happens with Derek, I call his mom and be like, hey, this is what's going on. Not that I have to, But because, like she's a mom, like I'm a mom, I would want to know, if Zoe went off, got married, I would want to know what's going on. Like I'm not gonna
Ain't getting married.
Be there to prude and see, but I would like to know as a mom so I could be praying, I could be making sure that, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it definitely took a lot. And not only was it a shock for our family, it was also a shock for us too. So we had to adjust, like it was either be obedient or move around. Right. Like those were the specific instructions we got. Either you do this or I'm gonna remove you and put someone in position that'll do it. Because whatever God has for us, he needed us to be together, but he needed us to be obedient in that time frame. So, if we weren't obedient, he was like, okay, I'm gonna just remove you because you're halting the purpose that I have for this person. If you're not gonna do what I called you to do when I call you to do it, then I'm just gonna remove you. And and we didn't want to be removed from each other's lives. So we were like, we have to tough it out.
So yeah.
That's big. Did y'all so was this like for you, Mr. Favors, was this like a love at first sight type of thing? Because I'm one of them people, I still believe in that. I still believe in love at first sight. A lot of people think it's cliche. I still believe in that.
I do for sure.
It wasn't a love at first sight. It was really more of a, man, she just seems different or she just looks different. And I just have that in me. Well, take that back. Sorry. God just put that in me to where I can, yes.
Discern what you mean.
Discern. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Discern, just different things and different, feelings, not by talking to someone, but by seeing them. And when I saw, Kelsey, I just knew like, yeah, she was something different about it.
Yeah, I was just so. Look, if I'm crying, let me know because I'm I'm coach. I'll be asking questions. So was it that in your previous relationship, were you used to attracting a different type of woman?
Me? Yes. Yeah.
I'm about to say, was they ghetto previously and a little bit ratchet? I mean, we didn't.
He can share the stories with me about the type of women he was associating with. But I'm glad he got out of that phase. I'm glad he grew up. He found them a good thing. So I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
because the kind of girls he was associating with.
Yeah, a lot of our bad experiences come from the type of people we attract. Prior to meeting our person, so. Right. That's why I was because she mentioned, that y'all both was scared. So it had to be some type of, things that y'all changed about yourselves too in the midst to position yourselves for each other. So what did y'all separate work look like when it'll be them times that y'all be like, okay, it's our damn time. We going our separate corners. What did the work look like on separate waves?
So I think a lot of our work came from us not being broken up, right? It wasn't even us together. It was us breaking up, but it was really, like I said, I was in a previous relationship and that relationship was my whole lifetime pretty much, from when I was 15 to when I was 23, that's my whole life. That's half of my adulthood right there. And so that relationship molded me. And once the blinders were removed, it took getting pregnant to realize how negative and toxic and damaging that relationship was and how demonic it was, right? And so in that moment and in that space, I made it my mission that the next person that I'm with will be healthy. They won't see, me having to struggle to be loved or find love or, I won't have to fight somebody to love me how I desire to be loved, or I won't have to fight somebody to want to be with me or want to go out with me or want to take me on dates, So it was just I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to my daughter, like, when you see me, when you get older, it would be with someone that actually loves me. That's the example I want to leave to you. Like that whole generational cycle of staying somewhere and you don't have to be there, I ended it. Like it's done. She won't ever see it. Her kids won't ever see it. They won't know what that's like. They'll only see marriage. Because when we got married, Zoe was only 7 months old, 8 months old. He's the only father, that Zoe knows. Zoe doesn't have another image of a marriage and a lifestyle outside of our marriage. So she won't know all the things that I went through to get here, like she'll grow up in a union already established. But the work really looked like being honest. Like, it's being honest with myself. And it was also being honest with him. And it also took, me changing my appetite, because sometimes when we get used to a certain type of people, or we get used to dating the same type of people, different faces, same spirit, different faces, as I call them, you have to really be honest with yourself and be like, what are you attracting? What in you is attracting this person? And I knew that for me, being that I was with someone for so long, I was attracting people that needed me to be the man of the house, or, needed me to validate them versus me being validated. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, I was like a mother in a sense versus being a wife. So it had to be me growing up, me facing that hard truth, me realizing that what I was in was toxic, negligent, it wasn't good for me. And also me not being so afraid to say yes. Because, like when Derek came into my life, I was like, oh, he different. Like, like I ain't never, like it's kind of like you used to eating chicken nuggets and then somebody bring you some steak. Like, hold on, I ain't never had this before. What is this? And then I used to talk myself into getting chicken nuggets again. Like, no, there's something wrong with this steak. Like, something's not right. Like, it's not cooked all the way, or it's not right. Like, I don't like this cut. Like, something is wrong. And it really took God showing me, like, no, I'm changing your appetite. I am causing you to want something different, to want something new. And it's going to take you, like, trusting me in it. And I remember us driving back from Austin. And while we were engaged, God put us in this season of putting the light on areas we didn't want to talk about. Like he forced us to talk about them before we got married. So when we got married, there would be no secrets. Right. So we were driving back from Austin and it was such a hard conversation. I was crying. He was mad. Like everybody was just like, emotions was at an all-time high. And when things finally settled down and we sat on the couch that next week, we were like, okay, we feel better. Like it's out there. It's nothing now that the enemy can hold against the other person in our minds, because everything is out in the open now.
Right.
Like there's nothing now that the enemy can say, oh, Derek, you still got this, you ain't told her. Or, oh, Kelsey, you still got this, you ain't told him. How you going to be married and keep this from him? It's nothing that he don't know. He knows everything, even the things that I feel ashamed about. He knows, and vice versa. So
now that take a whole nother level of maturity, y'all. We talking about this a level of maturity a lot of people ain't reached at 50, 60 years old, y'all. Like, I'm sitting up here listening, y'all. How old are y'all? Like 30 something? Like 30?
24.
No way.
I'm 24 and she's 25.
Right.
They younger than me. That's like little sister, little brother. And they kicking some real game, y'all. This is dope. I mean, all this stereotype built around, we too young, I'm too young to be married. Y'all just killed that.
Because what it is, they got emotionally involved with each other, and that's what it is. They allowed the emotions to come into place, the way they to engage in this type of conversation. What happens, a lot of people don't get emotionally involved with each other,
or too emotionally involved, where the conversation gets so heated it can't go nowhere.
Well, see, the thing about it is, people base stuff on a lie. We got to get out of line to each other. Take the mask off, be real with each other. Let's go biblical for a moment. The Bible said Adam and Eve was naked and unashamed. Let's take it to the day's turn. When you naked, you open. You're not hiding anything. And they was unashamed. It takes two mature people to make a thing work. They talk about everything that we don't even know about because none of our business. It's only between them and God. They talk about them things, they keep those things between each other. Now they're free. But like they said, if something come up, it's already been handled. That's what I like about it. And it's a confirmation now because people now, men and women, are starting to have these conversations now where we don't want anything hindering us at all. We don't want no based on a lie. We don't want no manipulation. If we're going to be with each other, okay, we need to put everything out on the table. So that gives that person a choice. Okay, I'm putting everything on the table. I'm telling you where I've been, what I'm going through, where I'm coming out of. That gives the other party the choice to say, okay, do I want to roll with it or not? So a lot of time what people do, they go along and then later down the road, they tell that person, I don't want to be here. Why you say that for? That's stuff you got to talk about. Stop getting so caught up in the feelings. And let's get caught up in the principal things. Go ahead.
You know, something that my dad told me before I got married, you know, he was like, Kelsey, if he never changes, if he stays this way until he dies, are you okay with that? Because change is relative. Nobody has to change. Change is a choice. Change is something that people have to make a conscious decision to do. So he was telling me, you know, like if he never changes, everything that you don't like about him, could you live with that until he dies? And if you can say yes, wholeheartedly, like nothing will change your mind, then get married. But if the answer is no, then don't do it.
Yeah, because that's important. Because we put up these false images of everything. I remember this priest was telling a story years ago about this couple that wanted to get married. Men, I don't take that bad. Males don't look at the big picture. Women, y'all look at the big picture. We get so caught up on the outer appearance of the woman, we never get to understand the character of the woman. I'm proud of Derek for getting to know your character instead of basing everything off your looks. He's seen something about your character that got his attention. Well, going back to it, when the preacher kept asking the man, she has this going in her life, are you willing to handle that? His response was, you see how fine she is? That's the only thing he was stuck on. He tried to get attention to get. Remember, she has all this stuff going in her life. Are you willing to handle that? You see how fine she is. Got married and filed for divorce. He was trying to get him to see the whole big picture. You make this long-term commitment. Are you ready for that? That's why the Bible tells you, wait, quick to hear and slow to speak. Mm-hmm. That's why Jesus said, have you sit down and consider the cost. That's what wisdom comes in play. Before you jump into this marriage, have you ready to sit down and consider the cost of this marriage? Are you ready for this marriage? See, people don't be ready for marriage. They get so caught up in these ways on social media.
We didn't even have it.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna have no wedding. Because when I get
it's like y'all was like brought together by God.
Literally.
Like it's very apparent.
It has to be.
Yeah.
We don't hear these type of stories in our little sect of age. Right. So definitely an ordained relationship.
We base stuff off flesh.
Yeah, I admired it.
We base stuff off flesh. It's all sexual. You could be sexually attracted to somebody, but that don't mean you personally attracted to a person.
Right.
Yeah. Because after sex, what you ain't got nothing in common. Okay. You don't talk about anything. It's just what you got, nothing. You don't have anything.
The first thing they did, y'all, they communicated heavy. You see, they had a schedule and everything. They set their routine up. And you know, I feel like that, like for me, that is like the common thing that always happened in the beginning, right? Like I can always keep tabs this person. Like it be so new and it be so fresh and it be so exciting. And then all of a sudden it just died. So what is a tip that y'all can keep, like what keep y'all momentum? Because I feel like a relationship have momentum too. And it have its times where it go a little slow, so
Right.
what help keep y'all momentum going? I know
I would say I can.
God is number one, but
Of course, yeah, right. Of course.
a sign of that.
Nah. So for me, why I just kept on, going, why I kept on talking, is because we think, or guys think that that it's so boring to just talk to a girl, like, and like, no sex or like no touching, and I didn't think though that way at all. Had we went a year, and not did nothing, that's fine. But I just like, talking to her, cracking jokes to her. And too, she is so smart. So it was, things that she would tell me, or these big like words, she say, I'm like, what is that? No, just stop. But I mean, you can't be so, quick to, touch or to feel, but you got to really listen to them and talk to them, because if you do the talking first, then you'll see who they really are. So by us talking every day, all days, again, 3 days is all it took for me to say, hey, come on, let's do this. Come on, me and you.
Okay.
Let's just start dating. But like, had I jumped like, to, touching her, kissing her, honestly, I would have missed all, this. So I'm glad that I just sat, talked to her, listened to her. I mean, it just grew from there.
Yeah.
And even with the momentum, even now in our marriage, we have literally been at a point. So we've literally been at a point, I gotta ask this, but we've literally been at a point where we've sat on our couch with $4 in our bank account, and we were literally laughing and joking like nothing was ever wrong, And so finally, when we got to a better place, we always look back on that moment and we were like, man, we were so happy with $4. We were talking about everything. We was talking about this house we was gonna build. We was going to look at houses, like we were just in a point where we didn't allow whatever we was going through to stop us from communicating. And even at a point where, like we'll be driving, like when we go back to Louisiana, and we'll talk.
The whole ride.
We'll talk the whole ride, the whole 3 hours. Well, whatever. When I'm up, I talk. Okay. And even now, like at home, like he'll ask me, because I'm the type of person where if something is going on with me, it's going to take you asking me what's wrong more than one time for me to tell you, because I was just raised where I just got to keep everything in. I haven't had many safe spaces to just release those feelings. And he's just not a person that communicates those feelings all the time. So it takes us, like, hey, I know something wrong with you, like what's wrong? What's on your mind? And it takes the other person not being offended by what they say. Because there were so many times where he was like, I don't like it when you do this. And I could get defensive and I could be like, well, I don't like it when you do this, or, like, I don't like it when you do that. And it's just like, I be having to tell myself, Kelsey, be quiet and just listen. Even if you don't agree, just hear him out, hear what he has to say, you know, and just give him the space to be free. Because, you know, we have the conversation all the time where he tells me, you know, men don't have a lot of safe spaces to talk about how they truly feel. You know, like they'll talk about how they feel, but not how they truly feel. Men don't have a lot of those safe spaces, or men don't get the validation and the encouragement and the affirmations that women get. Men don't get those same things. They're just expected to be a certain way. So, you know, I definitely make it my mission as his wife to make sure that he feels seen, that he feels loved and encouraged, you know, like he can do whatever he wants to do. I'm there for him. That's my man, and I'm stick beside him, you know? And, you know, he does the same for me. Oh. And that's not something that I was used to. So me receiving that type of love have been something that I'm working through, you know, because I haven't been in a space where someone can love me fully, you know? But he does that, and it's me not pushing back. It's me just being open and receiving it, and still, you know, having those moments of communicating, you know?
Cause I know I'm gonna say this with men, the only thing we want is respect. That's the only thing we want. Once that man know he gets the respect from that woman, he's gonna go the extra mile for that woman. That's the only thing we want. It's not with men, we don't want a lot of stuff. It's just little simple stuff. It's just the respect. And once that man get that respect from that woman, he's gonna go the extra mile for you. Because he know he get that respect at home. You know, I heard this quote, you know, women fall in love, men fall in respect. Once that man get the respect from his wife, he gonna go extra mile for her. I do believe that. And the whole communicating thing, talking about things, it takes a lot of maturity. With guys, especially us men of color, where you want to say, we was never taught to express ourselves. We was taught, okay, you a man, you don't cry, you don't do this. We were never taught that. We were never taught to how to treat a woman. We were taught to go to work, but we was never taught how to be with a woman. Until now we learn this stuff. Now that men are becoming more emotional involved with a woman now. So the tables are turning. That's the one thing to talk about too. I'm gonna talk about, okay, you know, there, you know, your wife had a daughter when y'all got together. Right. You know, you hear kind of on stuff on social media now. Right. Got YouTubers telling men not to deal with single mothers because they lose their value and all the other stuff. And that's real negative, because you can't judge a woman because you had a child before y'all got together, because that woman will be the best thing happen to that man. So as you being that father, how do you handle that? Because I don't believe in the term step child, because you step in on that, you step in on that. So as a father, what is your vision for fatherhood? What is the vision that you want to have for your daughter? Because I know you want her, when she get older, you want to show her what a man look like, how you treat her mother. So what is your vision for fatherhood? How has fatherhood been for you?
Man, let me see. So, all right. So I first met Zoe when she was 3 whole months. I mean, a little baby, man. Man. And then I remember when we weren't dating, and Kelsey texted me and said, "Hey, she is in the she is in children's." You know, so man, I kid you not, without a second thought, I got dressed and went there, man. And I mean, and I have just been there for her, man, from first words, from first steps, from first baseball game, the first football game, the first movies. I mean, I have just been there for her, and man, being a dad is fun, man. You, especially, you know, to a girl, because girls love dads, man. You know, and I had the best dad though, you know. So it was like, well, I saw, you know, him be a great dad to to us and to my two sisters, you know, and then And then on top of that, I learned from my father, you know, and a law too as well. And you know, he has taught me so many things too as well. So I want to, you know, just give her the best dad ever. We had our first daddy and daughter date too as well, man. Before Zoe turned 1, man. So you know, my plan is to just, you know, to do that, you know, every year, once a year, you know, and you know, that could be like going to games, going to a nice, you know, dinner, you know, just teaching her, you know, how a man, you know, should act. Like, you know, you know, get the door, buy the flowers, pay for the check, did everything. And yes, she will be spoiled though. By me, yes. So with 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 you know, whatever guy says, hey, you know, can I, you know, take her, you know, marry her? It's gonna be hard on him for sure. It's gonna be hard, you know.
Mhm.
And if he says, man, hey, dad, can't do it, I'm like, do it. So what? Hey, you said that you wanted to, you know, marry her. Do it.
Yeah.
You know, bottom line. You know, I have to take care of now, Kelsey. And Kelsey's dad did so much for her. You know, and there's like times where I'm like, Dad, you just did so much for her. I mean, she just, at least she asked for everything in the world. No, you know, but I want her to just, grow up and see that, dad. And then, whenever she gets of age, to date and to, marry, she'll know what to see, the all of the red flag, things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a point. I just want to read something too. It says, this is about compatibility in a relationship. It said basically being in a compatible relationship means that you work well together and enjoy each other's company. You're in sync, but tends to act more like friends or friends with benefits than two people who are actually in love. You have compatibility without love, she says, but you can have love without compatibility. What y'all say about that? Being compatible, y'all more like friends. So what y'all say about that?
Well, we're definitely like best friends. Yeah. Like we're
like you can see it. Like
we're the bestest of friends. Like we will literally
best friend.
We're literally best friends. Like we will laugh and joke and do some crazy stuff together. Like
I was teasing first, and I was like, they love each other so much. They almost look like siblings. And I was growing up. I would hear that when I was growing up, like when you hang around a person long enough,
yeah, that's true.
Look like each other, So I was like, look at them. That's why I'm like, y'all just so cute to me. Y'all just so cute to me.
Yeah. Well, like we're the bestest of friends, literally. Like,
even
like
after fights, we
literally we will be in the worst argument, like heated, slamming doors, and then once it's over. Like we'll look at each other, start laughing, joking, like, all right, what we gonna eat now? We done worked up, we hungry. So, like we've made it our mission. Well, really communication was our foundation. So anytime we feel out of sync or out of whack, we really go into a space where maybe we'll have a movie night and we'll talk, or maybe we'll go out on an actual date, and refill that cup. Or maybe we'll just laugh and joke and, but I've also, in the sense of compatibility, I've learned to be interested in things that he's interested in.
Cowboys.
Okay.
So, you know, like I don't watch football like that. And I'm not a Cowboys fan. So,
What?
you
And
know,
you're not a Saints fan either.
I'm a Saints fan.
You're from
Anyway,
I was
Anyway.
divided. I
Man,
was
it's hard in
divided.
the house, man. Cowboys fan.
whatever. It don't
Man, it's
matter.
all-
I'm from Louisiana. I would never turn my back on my home state.
Hmm.
Anyway, you saw how we won Sunday? That just goes to show.
The
At
Falcons.
least
is
somebody
horrible.
won Sunday.
The Falcons is horrible. Don't get on.
Anyway,
Wait a minute,
anyway,
wait.
not the point.
I know she just to say somebody won something.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
literally,
Man,
you know,
Come on now.
I keep my Cowboys comments to myself when it's Cowboys
Yeah,
season
yeah.
because it
Smart.
gets really
Smart.
sensitive.
Yeah, smart.
It gets tired. It gets
So,
tired of Cowboy season. It gets tired.
oh, so you know, like I watch football with him. You know,
Okay.
like just today, I was scheduling a therapy client, and I was like, you know, babe, I'm gonna try to schedule it during halftime. That way, I can watch the Cowboys game with you. You know, like the first half, and then I can do my session, come back, we can watch the game together. Like, you know, I make it my mission to be interested in stuff that he's interested in because that's how I'm going to connect with him. You know, like I have to start talking his language. Like yesterday, I was saying something about the Broncos game, and he was like, "How'd you know that?" I was like, "Babe, you know, I've been paying attention when you be talking about football, like."
I didn't teach her that. No. Just
But
do it
I
out
pay
there.
attention though, or I ask questions so I can
Okay.
know more about the sport because you know he loved football. It's literally on our calendar, different games.
Cowboys games on there.
And even college
Right.
games, you know, so it's just that's what he loves. So let me speak that language, and even vice versa. I'll be watching one of my TV shows and he'll just come and watch it,
Okay.
you know, and then all of a sudden we binge watching my show together, you know,
Mhm.
or, you know, I do this thing where after a long day, I like to decompress and I like to color, you know, and he don't really like coloring like that, but he'll come next to me and he'll color, you know, just to be in my space or just to show me like, hey, I'm here. You know, you don't have to be alone in this. I know you had a long day, but let's do it together type of thing. It's just little stuff like that, you know, like, and I think that's what keeps the chemistry is we never stop trying to learn something new about the other person because like who we are now, we won't be in 10 years and
Right.
we weren't like we were 10 years ago, you know, and
We're
even
kids,
with,
man.
anyway,
We're kids. You
still,
can't compare it.
anyway,
We're kids.
still, you know, even when we first got together, we're completely different people now
Yeah.
than when we first got together.
That is
And
true.
that was like almost a year ago. We're not even the same people. We don't talk the same. We don't
Right.
act the same. We don't like the same stuff.
He
So
know.
that's in almost a year, right? Imagine 15 years. Obviously, we won't be the same people, but it's being intentional on like what the other person likes or what the other person likes to do and learning that so that you can learn them. Like I never want to be in a place where I'm out of position and he's doing something. I'm like, I'm just not going, I don't care. You do you. I want to know because, you know, like maybe we can go to football games together or maybe we could talk football that way, you know, like he's not single anymore. So he doesn't go out with the guys, you know, to like where he used to go and watch games and stuff. He's home with me, Zoe, you know, so I create a space where if you want to yell at the TV about football, at least let me have the knowledge to know what he's yelling about so I can be mad too. You know, like I don't want him to feel like he don't have nobody to be mad with, you know, like I'll be mad at the Cowboys too, babe. You mad? I'm mad at them too.
That's
So,
awesome
but-
stuff.
You know, yeah.
That's the awesome
Man, them
stuff.
anyway, just because you're a New Orleans Saints fan.
That's awesome.
Don't
But
do
also, we read this one
Do
too.
that.
It says when you're in a
Oh,
relationship, it says I'm reading this one
Oh,
too.
what's that?
It said when you're in a relationship based on comparability, you feel
Mhm.
safe. What do y'all say about that?
Oh yeah, man. Say I can say when we first got, you know, together, I did not feel safe, but not really because of her, but because of past. You know, so I had to learn to, you know, go to her, talk to her. So now, man, I mean, I can say like anything as questions to her, you know. So definitely it all goes back to when we first met. We just talked. So trust me, the more that you talk, the more that you'll feel comfortable. And then the more chill and the more comfortable you'll be. But you have to go through that boring phase first, of course, you know, talking, getting to know each other, asking questions, you know, all of that.
But I mean, we were the type of people where if we ran out of things to ask, we would go to Google and type, what are questions you should ask your significant other? And we would just find a whole nother list of questions to ask each other. Or we would send each other TikToks of questions or things to spark a conversation because, you know, we were learning each other. I wanted to know, like, we're different people completely, hot and cold, you know, and so, but our values are the same, our principles are the same, our morals are the same. So when certain topics arise, you know, we were raised differently. So when certain things happen, I get a certain way. And he's like, that's not nothing to be all worked up about. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be mad about this. You know, and it's just, we have those conversations. Like, I know certain topics, I'm going to be like, I'm not even going to get into that with you because you're going to go on your rampage. And vice versa. He knows not to bring up certain things with me because I'm going to go on a rampage about it. It's just, you know, we're different, but we don't allow that to stop us from communicating or talking or, you know, having those conversations, even the ones we don't want to have. Not every conversation is one we want to have, but it's one that we need to have because, you know, we don't want to give the enemy any space in our marriage in any capacity. So we don't want to give him any type of room or a window or a door or a crack where he could be like, I'm going to find rest in this place in their marriage, right? No, we talk about everything. Even if we don't want to, you know, there were points where I was literally balled up on the floor crying about something, you know, and he would be like, no, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it now. You're not going to sit and wallow in this. We're going to talk about it. But that's what I needed, you know, and even vice versa, stuff that he runs away and don't want to talk about. I'm like, no, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it now, you know, like, you know, even if it takes a moment for him to go out, clear his head, come back, we talk about it, but we're not going to go to sleep on a bad note. That's just not something that we do. Like, we'll stay up. Well, I'm going to stay up. He'll go to sleep.
I'm trying to get some sleep.
I'm going to stay up and we're going to talk about it because I just don't believe, you know, that if we end on a bad note, it's going to be on my mind in the morning. It's going to get me in a bad mood. And then now I'm taking out this anger at work. I'm taking it out on Zoe. Everybody catching a little bit of it. And so I make sure, you know, like we tired. We tired, but let's just get the grunt of it out. And then we can fix the rest of it tomorrow, you know, but let's just not end on this note. But yeah, that's all.
And that's all stuff. And I know y'all mentioned a part about the past and stuff y'all been through. And I know women have some bad experience with some guys. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I guess I would say y'all built up a wall over years. Mm-hmm. So now it's like when the next guy come in, you have that mindset that, okay, he's going to do the same thing this last joker did. So now I have to keep this guard up. I'm going to ask you this, Derek. Did you feel like you had to work overtime to gain your wife's trust because off the bat, because what she been through, right, the past experience, so it's not like you coming in, you building her back up, right, when she better open to you. How did you handle that in the beginning?
Okay, let me see. So in the beginning, I will say that it was hard, yes, you know, and that's just because of her past. You know, she told me, all kinds of things that the guy did, and it was like he got to her head like that badly to where so my first thought was, nah, she is kind of still stuck on dude, so nah, let me just leave. And it's a baby two though from him. So I'm like, nah, that's like double, So I'm like, nah, I can't even do that to myself, man. But I want to say, definitely, I just I I found a way to just love her through it, and that is what is most important. Every day I show her these different things in these ways, to where she'll say like, man, that's different. I'm like, yeah, it's different because it's a man trying to please and love his wife, correctly. So I mean, yeah, it was hard, yes, of course, but you know, choosing to love her through it. And it's like Pastor Todd, what's his last name?
Michael Todd.
Yeah, Michael Todd said, don't get married if you are not ready to die. So if you ain't saying, hey, you know what, this me now can't, it just can't last. It can't be the it. Don't do it. So I could feel that how she talked and by how she cried, at times that she wanted to, be loved and be completely free from her past.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard for me too. I mean, he didn't make it easy for me to gain his trust, like I think it's harder for women to be with men that have had a bad relationship in the past where the woman may have caused it. Mm-hmm. Because men, once they're vulnerable to a certain point and women destroy that, it's kind of like it completely changes who they are as a man, because it takes them a lot to even get to that vulnerability place. And then the woman destroys that, and now they like super far back. Mm-hmm. So, it took a lot of me standing my ground, telling him that I'm here, telling him that I love him, proving to him that I'm not going to cheat on him or leave him or not want to be with him anymore or choose somebody else over him. Like it was a lot that we both had to do in different capacities to show each other like, no, we're here to stay. And oftentimes we did it, like I won't say dragging our feet, but sometimes it was kind of like, all right, I got to love you through it. Because it was sometimes where we both were at the point like, bro, we still on this. Like I thought we would be past this point now, and it took both of us like, I'm still going to love you through it. I chose you, even if you never changed or healed from this thing, I still chose you. I'm going to love you through it, and it took both of us in prayer, because there were things that I was dealing with that I didn't necessarily communicate right to Derek, but the Lord told him about it. And he would tell me about it. And I'd be like, and I start crying. I'm a very emotional person. I would start crying, and I'd be like, how did you know this? He'd be like, Kelsey, I pray for you. Like when you sleep and you think I'm asleep, I'm up praying for you. And it's vice versa, like I'm up praying for him. I'm, laying my hands on him, laying my hands on Zoe, because as the woman, I'm the intercessor of my family. Like it's my job to be that. So, it's certain things that he deals with that the Lord will tell me about on how to deal with him regarding it. Because some things in my mind, I would think, oh, I can deal with it this way because, I'm a therapist. There's certain techniques and things that I would naturally want to do. But God is like, you can't do that with him that way. You have to do this another way. You have to approach this differently. And that's why I think it's important to, one, be equally yoked, but the two, to have a real prayer life in your marriage. Because if God is in the center of this, then I need to go to him, because your son out here acting crazy and I don't know what to do. So I need you, God, to tell me what to do. And he could probably be like, Lord, this girl got an attitude again, and I don't know what's going on with her. I need you to show me how to maneuver this situation. Whatever. So, it's just one of those things where we gotta be in prayer. Like, I'm truly a believer, and I witnessed a divorce firsthand. Like, it's demonic. That's truly what it is. It's two people literally ripping away, and the after effects, everything. And if from the jump we made a decision, like, we were going to keep God in the mix of everything, so that we wouldn't have to experience what it looks like to keep him out of it. And then later on, there's so much that we got to work through. Like, we might as well keep him in the mix and work through it now.
Yeah. I totally believe that you got to work through those things. It takes two willing people to make a thing work. And so I wanted to let's talk about exercise. And I got Shay, she's a trainer as well. So as a couple, do y'all exercise? Do y'all diet? How do y'all work? Because I know a lot of couples love to exercise with each other. So y'all do any type of exercising, dieting wise, or anything and stuff like that?
I'm not exercising.
She don't diet nothing.
I ain't doing nothing.
No, she need canes every day.
Right. Stay, hold up on the cane.
I mean, literally,
I don't like canes,
I'm
honestly,
thinking about it now that he said it. But, like, we were at a point where, Derek would go to the gym every morning. But I do think that is something that we, not exercising, but, going on like the walks around our neighborhood, like something like that. Something that could kind of get us out the house, get us to unwind. It gets Zoe tired. She can go to sleep at night, like, it's something for the whole family to do. Derek has these spurts of his diet where he wants to do protein shakes. And then the next day he want to do smoothies. And then the next day he, don't want to do nothing. He want coffee, He has these random spurts, so we have to get better at a routine, because we're still adjusting to everything. We just moved. So everything has been an adjustment, so we're adjusting to, working and a child and moving and just being married and, starting our businesses, so we just have to get a better routine. But it's definitely something that we need to do. I mean, he loves working out. It's good for him. I need to work on my life.
I love working.
What your thing is. Your thing might not be the gym. You might be the outdoors person that like to go on the jogs and, like you said, the walk. You just gotta figure out your jam. You gotta figure out your thing. Everybody not like me. Everybody don't want to go hard on the bag and kickbox. Everybody don't want to do that. But that's my jam. I also do yoga. That's my thing. But you just gotta find your thing. Like, some people like Zumba. Some people like.
I said I was gonna try Pilates though.
That's my next venture. Maybe me and you could go to the Pilates thing together. Because that's one of my ventures.
But like with a. It's I can't explain.
It's different. Yeah, it's different. I haven't tried it. Usually every 3 months I try to do something new in my wellness journey. Like 3 months ago, I did like the sound bath. It was something new, that I had never tried. And it opened up a few chakras. It was very interesting. Like, you could feel it. It was very interesting. Something I would, do again. But I like to do something different, like in my journey. And I think that's what y'all pretty much y'all got. I love how y'all got like y'all little secret recipe. And it's very admirable that y'all so young, and the maturity level is like up here. I really commend y'all, and I'm rooting for y'all. Y'all relationship is very, very admirable. And God has showed y'all favor. I think that's how y'all end up together. Like it just seems so, it seems so, like genuine, and so. And like, we seem to attract a lot of genuine people here on our podcast too. But like it's genuine. Like you can feel it's genuine. Like that I really admire that about y'all. I'm a surely that this skyrocket for me. I'm like over here like taking game for Miss Favors. Like, so I need to listen. So I should be more. So
It's hard.
it is. It's hard. Like.
Because women, we're naturally intuitive. So like, we see the big picture. So, something my mother-in-law told me, and I live by it now. Sometimes she was like, sometimes you just gonna have to shut up. And if he say right and it's left, you just gonna have to let him go right. Because as soon as he go right and he realized it was left, he gonna be like, baby, wasn't I supposed to go left? And then that's when you be like, yeah, baby, you're supposed to go left. If you don't,
happened before.
It happens too many times, like you just gonna have to, she really taught me, like, sometimes as women, we can get very intuitive and get very motherly when it comes to our husbands. And we have to distinguish the fact that they are their own individual person. They're men. And men don't like being told that they're wrong. They don't even like being told what to do. So I've learned, if you want to do it, if you think that's what's best, that's my man, and I'm going to stick beside him. And at that point, once things turn the curve and he be like, hey, what did you think about this? That's when I can say, these are my thoughts. And I think moving forward, we should try to do it this way. And if it doesn't work, we'll figure out another way together. You did your way, I did my way. Though both ways didn't work, let's figure out a way together. Yeah. But it's hard to listen.
I'm a firm believer in working together. I believe in working together. I believe that everybody has a part to play in a relationship. And the woman, the wife, she's supposed to be that inspirational to the man, and God just got to humble himself and listen. And that's what we have to do, because we don't know everything. But whatever she see, it's just up to him to humble himself and say, you know what, babe, okay, let's try it this way. Because we don't know everything. So we're not going to get everything. So it's not wrong with taking the counsel of your wife, because you may say, okay, let's try it this way, try it that way. You know what? Hey, it did work. And it's nothing bad to make the man feel bad. But hey, we represent each other, so we won, right? So we all gonna win at the end of the day.
I think for me, I have to work on my approach. Like my approach is straight Oak Cliff. Like my approach is gonna come off like it's straight Dallas. Like it's straight because of pretty much how I was raised. My environment that I was, around. And I was listening to y'all's story. It sounds as though like both of y'all had active dads, and, like really active dads and as role models. And a lot of us women have absent fathers. So that plays a big role in the type of men that we attract, the type of things that we go through, the type, so I was raised by a single mother and my dad in and out of jail. I didn't have that model ass masculine type of man. And the man that did be in my life for the longest, he died in a bus crash. And it pretty much, I watched my mom go from this very happy person to depression, like nearly for the rest of her life, because she lost her soulmate, so it was like going through them different type of things and looking at her date, and it was like a slew of things. So it's like now I do find myself like kind of like hard. And then like certain situations make you hard too, and I don't be wanting to be like I like, cause like listening to you, it's like softening up to be able to receive, right? I have the issue with the receive.
Yeah.
And that I know, like I have an issue with the receiving, and I have an issue with the letting my guards down. I don't wanna be the person with the short end of the stick again. Like, how long I'm gonna be the person with the short end of the stick? You know, so it was like I admired it. It was a lot of things that y'all said from the jump, like, hey, we ain't never gonna do this. We're gonna keep God in the forefront. We're gonna, you know, and there's things that should be talked about in the beginning. Like this stuff they were talking about in like 90 days, y'all. First 6 months of their relationship, they having these hardcore conversations that we avoid probably maybe to a year in the game. 2 years in the game, we having these conversations about this. And then now we know that's why you've been acting like that. 2 years later, though, you know, so it's like just to hear, you know, y'all was like, look, we finna get this out the way. We finna do this right now. That's really admirable, really brave. It takes some real courage. And it takes some real, like, shutting everybody out, too. Because, like, I know, like you said, like, y'all parents was like, what is you doing? But if you love her, okay, go for it. You know, but at the same time, you still have to shut them people out. Like, okay, I know this is for me, and this is what I'm about to do. So I really admire y'all relationship. I really admire it.
But even with the active dad thing, you know, my whole life, really, I mean, so when my dad went to jail before I was born. So he didn't get out of jail until I was 6.5, if he tells the story. I don't remember much of anything. But I remember when I was about 13 or 14, you know, we had a sit-down conversation at Texas Roadhouse. That's probably why that's my favorite restaurant now.
Is that why that's your favorite?
Probably. So, you know, like we had a sit-down conversation at Texas Roadhouse, you know, where we made a promise to each other that we wouldn't keep anything from each other. But honest to God, our relationship didn't really grow until I was 18 and I went off to college, you know, because then I had the liberty of seeing him as much as I wanted to, building a relationship with him, you know? So a lot of times if you see me and my dad interact, you wouldn't know that my entire life until I graduated high school, we lived in different cities, 4 hours away from each other. We only saw each other every couple months. You know, there was an exchange part of our time period, like where we didn't talk. You know, it was just a lot of confusion and all of that. So, you know, that made me hard, you know, and it made me at that time clinging on to anybody that would have showed me that type of love and validation that my dad would have given me. That's what I was doing in the past. And so finally, you know, when things started to click and I was like, something's not right. Like, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to be the person that's closed off, you know, not able. And it's crazy because I'm literally the most emotional person in the world. Why am I so closed off? But that was how, you know, I was raised. The women in my family, they don't talk about their feelings. It's not something that they do. You know, they don't communicate that something is going on with them. They don't talk about what's wrong. You know, they make sure that their family is taken care of. And that's, you know, the mindset and the life that I was in. But that's a stronghold.
Yeah.
That's a stronghold. And scripture tells us we have to pull down strongholds. Strongholds are mental hiding places that the enemy rests in. He is resting in those cycles that my family has been birthing.
Ish.
So it's time for we to break that cycle, to pull down the stronghold, to cast down those thoughts because they don't go away. You know, like we had a conversation a while ago where he was like, man, you always want to be the man. And I'm like, no, like the women in my family, they just, it can't be two men. I'm going to have to learn how to step out of that role and into my role. God gave me a role. I need to figure out, what is this role? What did this role do? Oh, a Proverbs 31 woman. She's a businesswoman. This lady has, you know, like she has businesses. she wakes up before her family wakes up. She makes sure her family is taken care of.
True.
She's out in the marketplace negotiating. So it's not, I don't have time to be the man because I'm over here trying to birth businesses that we can go out and negotiate with, I don't have, once I realize the capacity that I'm in, I don't have time to do his job. I got enough with mine. Like mine is enough. And it took me consciously every day, I have to decide I am not going to close him out today. That's how you soften up. Like it's a conscious decision. I'm not going to do this today. And when you start to do it, be like, nope, I said I wasn't going to do it. And then you do something that makes you uncomfortable. That's muscle memory. That trains your brain to be soft and to be aware and to open up. Because your brain knows, okay, well, if he triggered this memory or this thought, then I'm a shut down, fight or flight. Like I'm about to fly. I'm gone. I don't want to fight. And because I don't like confrontation. I do not like confrontation. So if I think an argument is going to get to a point to where I feel like you would leave me behind of it, I'm not going to have it. I'm going to just shut up, And it took me like, no. I have to be at a place where I trust you with these feelings, even if I feel like these feelings will hurt yours. I have to trust you in the capacity to talk about them because I don't want to talk about them. But
like, how do you do that? Like, how do you? My fear, I think it comes from fear, like the fear of I do not like. I'm the type of person like if you tell me something. You can tell me, and I promise you ain't gonna never hear it ever again. It's not gonna go no further than me and you. That's how I am. But if I'm really confining in you, and then something that I told you out of confidence comes back to me, I feel betrayed ultimately, and I'm gonna shut down. And I probably ain't gonna tell you nothing else. Like I'm probably not gonna want to talk to you no more about it because I'm gonna feel like now you're just gonna take everything I tell you and you're gonna use it against me.
So the way our brain works, it's only two ways: memory and imagination. Those are the only two functions our brain does. It can only replay old memories and make new ones. The only two things your brain do in a situation is replay what has already happened when this happens, or it's going to give you a scenario on what will happen if this happens. Those are literally the only two things our brain do. So when we're in a situation and one of us is triggered and it sparks something from our past, our brain is going to replay a scenario where we think this is how the person will respond. Or it's going to replay a scenario of a past person responding this way. That's it. Those are the only two things that happens, literally. So it's you being conscious of the scenarios in your head and being like, actually, I'm just going to get it out there. Let's just get it out there. Let me just make this a reality. That way I know how you will respond as a person, because I can't judge people based off of what past people did to me. That's not fair.
Right.
To that person. And it's not fair to yourself because you're not giving yourself a real chance. Like if you really want to do, like I tell my clients all the time, if you really want to do this healing thing for real, you're going to have to give yourself a real fighting chance. Oftentimes we don't give ourselves a fighting chance. We just, take up all of this information and no application, and my husband say it best, applied knowledge is power. So if I'm not applying all of this information in this digital age, then I'm not giving myself a fair shot. I'm actually self-sabotaging at that point. So it's me being conscious of when I'm triggered or when he's triggered, it's us being conscious of, this really is reminding me of something that went on in my past, because I was the type of person where I don't want nothing used against me. If I do something for you, or if I tell you something, or we do something, I don't want you later on to blow it up in my face when you're upset.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, why are you doing all that? What's the point? What's the purpose? But I've learned that people's response is a reflection of what's going on inside of them. It has nothing to do with me. So you blowing up and being mad and trying to blow this back up in my face, you're insecure about the situation. And you're trying to bring me down to your level of insecurity about it. That has nothing to do with me. Right? And it's also being mindful of who I am in Christ. Like oftentimes we try to fight all of these battles in our own strength with our own flesh. This is not a fleshly battle. Like at some point, I'm going to have to trust God enough to give him this. Even if this scares the hell out of me. You know, we were at a point where we were scared to give each other a chance, literally, because we both, you know, like I was in a long-term relationship, ended up with a baby. Who wants to be in something like that again? You know, and he was in a relationship, previously engaged. It turned out wrong. Who wants to go through all of these things again, especially for it not to be the right person? You know, like we were definitely scared, but you know, like we had to come to a point where it's like either we trust God or we don't. Because if it doesn't work out, it's not going to be not because we didn't trust God. So, and we can stand here and say, like, God hasn't, his word hasn't returned void. So, you know, at that capacity, it's just kind of like, you know, we just got to make it do what it do. It sucks and it hurts, and healing isn't fun, especially confronting parts of yourself where you know is vulnerable and can get you hurt again. But this is you got to give it to God type of thing. Like, God, you have this. And the next person that come along, I'm going to give this to you. That way you can give me the wisdom to know when to disperse it. So I won't give it prematurely, but I won't also give it when it's too late. I'll give it at just the right moment for just the right person at just the right time.
I like that.
I went on my little therapist tangent.
I like that. She like, don't be giving stuff away prematurely, y'all. That's game.
Oh man, right. So we had an awesome time here on the podcast. I know we pressed for time, some great information went out tonight. We thank y'all, Favors family, for hanging out with us here on the podcast, of course. And I know, do y'all have any final remarks for the listeners? All of those that are live streaming right now. Man, if I read a couple of comments, Miss Washington said open line of communications are necessary. She said keep ministering. Favors, keep ministering. So a lot of great information and feedback in the comment section, of course. So do y'all have any final remarks for the listening audience as we get to get off the air tonight?
Okay. So I created this quote, or I came up with it. And it is what is it? So you can't grow something that isn't planted. So if you want something to grow, you gotta start somewhere. But if you don't start anywhere, you can't go nowhere. It's like trying to drive a car and say, hey, I want to go to, the store. Okay, well, how will I get there? Drive. Well, if I didn't put gas in, then I can't go nowhere. So it's those tiny, steps and those tiny things and those tiny, moments. So if you, want to grow, want to do things differently, you gotta start somewhere. Also, if you're, scared to try to get back out there, what I'd say is, if you're, scared, don't go for the same thing. Try something different, because I did that, she did that, and now we're married.
Awesome stuff.
For me, it's really, Get into the presence of God, because that's where all of your answers are. Any answer that you have, any sense of uncertainty, it's found, like the answers are found in the presence of God. Because if it wasn't for that night in Alexandria, like we probably wouldn't even be together, for the simple fact that that's how scared we were, or that's how much the enemy was clouding our judgment, clouding because if our brain only works in memory and imagination, the enemy is only going to replay what we've been through when something new happens. So we were in a space where
we weren't even going to go to Alexandria.
No, like that was the day where it was like that ice thing in Dallas, and we were sitting on the couch, and we were like, you know what, we just gonna go, like, and we just packed up randomly in the middle of the day and drove down there. But it turned out to be exactly what God wanted us to be in that moment, because it was more than just God encountering us. He was telling other people that never even met us stuff about us, like that's how we were in alignment at that point. But it's really like being in the presence of God, being able to talk about your feelings, not allowing your feelings to become facts, because they're not. Feelings fade. They're not the truth. How you feel today is not how you're going to feel tomorrow.
That's true.
So being able to communicate those feelings, but not allowing them to rule you, and having your identity in Christ, knowing who you are. Know who you are. Because a lot of stuff we wouldn't fight if we just knew who we were. But that's my tangent. It was great being on here tonight.
Super fun.
It was amazing.
It will be a part two. We'd be glad to do a part two with y'all.
Yeah. It was lovely having you guys.
Thank you.
Most definitely. Shay, go ahead and plug in. I know you got some stuff outside the podcast, so go and plug in shit what you got going on as well.
Okay, y'all know Coach Shay is always looking to accept clients. Everybody don't fit me though, but I'm always looking to take those conversations. See if I'm a perfect fit for you. So if you want to know more about what dynamic weight loss and wellness has to offer for you as far as wellness, mindset, nutrition, follow me at I am Coach Shay on all social media platforms. Also, I'm about to do a crazy switch up. I'll keep y'all posted on that. Doing some more training. So I'm really, really excited about this big transition. I have a big announcement for y'all coming up, so definitely y'all stay tuned for that once I solidify everything. Also, shout out to Miss Felicia Atlas for hosting the Start Something Brunch this Saturday. We met a lot of amazing people to be on the podcast here with us. So shout out to Miss Felicia Atlas of Dallas Awesome Magazine. And that's all I have for today.
Appreciate you, Shay, with all the great information on the outside. Like I said, we appreciate y'all as well. Appreciate the Favors family. We will make a part two of this. There's a lot of stuff that we want to address more. It was like the tip of the iceberg. We do encourage everybody to follow the podcast. Follow us on YouTube. We are at Walking His Ways. Impact Voice on YouTube. We are all on Spotify and Anchor Podcast. This episode will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. You can go back and watch it, of course. So it should be no later, probably tonight or tomorrow when it be up, of course. But we thank everybody for tuning in, hanging out with us. Of course, big shout out to those that was in the comment section. Big shout out to everybody who support us as well. And we will be back here tomorrow night here on Walking His Ways Impact Voice Podcast. We're going to be interviewing Gabriel Willer. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia. He done the new theme song for Walking His Ways Impact Voice Podcast. I'm very excited about that. So that will be uploaded on the replays when it goes on the YouTube. So you can be able to check that out. He sent the video to me earlier on how they're working behind the scenes. Awesome stuff. So a lot of great things are transpiring here on the podcast as well. Big shout out to Shay. She got some outside projects going on, upcoming interviews that she's doing. Of course, Anna C. She done an outside interview with another podcast called Skinny as well. A lot of great things here are transpiring. So we encourage everybody, man, continue on supporting us, continue on sharing, getting the word out. We got a lot of great guests here on the podcast coming up soon. It's to the point now I have to do another day now. So I'm doing Tuesday and Wednesday now. But hey, I'm having fun with it because it used to just be one. It's like now doing
Right.
two. So I got to do 2 days. I'm doing another one tomorrow night, same time. Hey, I'm grinding now. So when I get off here, still got to grind. Got to put all this thing up together. So y'all have a great night. Remember, before you go to bed tonight, take your favorite drink, whether you drink water, Coke, whatever you drink. Don't drink no Coke because that's sugar. But make sure you drink something healthy. Look yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself I love you. Tell yourself I got your back. Tell yourself that you are great. Tell yourself you are iconic. And give yourself a toast as well. So we want y'all to be encouraged. Also remember this. Remember the graveyard. Everybody that graveyard has something in common. They thought they had tomorrow. And tomorrow they didn't see. So remember, live like a rock star. I ain't talking about a negative way, but live like a rock star. Live like it's your last. Don't be afraid to take chances. Make them changes happen. And trust me, God will make a way for you because he will open up things for you that path gonna be bright. So y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night here on Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast. And also look out for part 2 with the Favors family coming very, very soon. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.